baby. I'm not trying to rush you.
Silly boy.
Ida Lupino had grease paint in her veins. Born into a theatrical family that could trace its roots back to the 17th century, the lithe, blue-eyed Lupino was just 13 when she entered the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art and had her first starring role at 14. The following year, she came to Hollywood, where Paramount cast her in unmemorable roles. But that all changed in 1939, when she more than held her own opposite Ronald Colman as an embittered prostitute in William Wellman's The Light That Failed. Her performance so impressed Jack L. Warner, he signed her to a contract at Warner Brothers. Lupino starred opposite Humphrey Bogart in 1940's They Drive by Night and 1941's High Sierra, and opposite John Garfield in 1941's Out of the Fog and The Sea Wolf. She won the prestigious New York Film Critics Circle Best Actress honor for 1942's The Hard Way. Lupino built a reputation at the studio for professionalism and intelligence, but she was always playing second fiddle to the studio's grande dame, Betty Davis, and frequently was on suspension because she refused to play roles Warner had chosen for her.
How else can you get along? By being soft, honest? No. You've got to fight. You've got to scheme and double-cross to get ahead in this business.
But instead of sitting idly by while on suspension, Ida Lupino began visiting sets on the lot where, according to TCM, she grew fascinated with the filmmaking process, and by the end of the decade, she became the only female director working in Hollywood. How did she do that? In 1948, she married writer-producer Collier Young, who, like Lupino, bristled under the studio system. The following year, they set up an indie production company, Filmmakers. And over the next few years, she directed and co-produced, and in some cases wrote, 6 low-budget B films that explored such socially conscious topics as unwed motherhood in 1949's Not Wanted, rape in 1950's Outrage, and even bigamy in 1953's The Bigamist.
Well, I must say your style's improving fast.
Elmer Clifton is listed as director of the 1949 film Not Wanted, but he took ill 3 days into production, and Lupino directed the film uncredited. She once noted, "Where there is human courage, there is drama. When everyday people fight for life and love, you have the essence of heroism. I try to capture this in every film I directed."
When he talks, I feel like I'm burning. When he takes my arm as we go past a cop in the street, I know that someday that cop might shoot him. He knows it too, and even so he laughs. And then I get hot and cold all over, and I feel like yelling.
Sally Forrest, whom Lupino discovered and cast in 3 films, told me in a 2002 LA Times interview that Lupino was electric. She never had the popularity, though, she should have had. She was a fine actress, said Forrest. She was beautiful. She had a fabulous figure and was a great director. She was so knowledgeable in every area. She was wonderful as actress. She was the best I ever worked with. She was completely understanding and knew exactly what she wanted. Mala Powers, who starred in Outrage, also told me in 2002 that she was very protective of her performers. So you dare to be wrong, because if you did anything wrong, she wouldn't print it. I often wondered what my destiny would have been had I never met her. Lupino even referred to herself as mother on the set. According to the bio, Ida Lupino director, it was a strategy to diffuse anxiety about her role as director. Lupino and Collier divorced in 1951. She married Howard Duff that year, and they had a daughter in 1952. Though divorced, Lupino and Young continued to work together on the crackerjack 1953 thriller The Hitch-Hiker and the delicious melodrama also from that year, The Bigamist, starring Edmund O'Brien in the title role, Joan Fontaine as wife number 1, and Lupino as wife number 2. This marked the first time she directed herself in a movie. Ironically, Fontaine was married to Young at the time of production.
What good would it do me if I did know all those things? I like you as you are. The way we are. I don't want anything from you. I'm afraid of being in love again.
Filmmakers came to an end in 1955, and Lupino segued into television, directing everything from The Twilight Zone to 3 episodes of Gilligan's Island. She made one last feature film, a favorite among female baby boomers, the 1966 comedy The Trouble with Angels, starring Rosalind Russell as the Mother Superior of a Catholic girls' convent school and Haley Mills as a troublesome student. She continued to direct episodic until the end of the 60s and continued acting until the end of the 1970s. She died in 1995. For Film Masters, this has been Susan King.